Glory to Jesus Christ. My name is Father Andriy Matlak. I am a priest of Holy Trinity Mission Parish of Seattle, Ukrainian Orthodox Church, and I am here with faith and love draw near. As we are learning deeper about Divine Liturgy and the parts of it, let me introduce to you one of the important parts of the service, which is Great Entrance. During the Divine Liturgy, we can see a lot of pious action in the temple. We see people making the sign of the cross. We see them bowing in worship. We see processions. And that's understanding for us that we worship God not only with our mind, but with our body and with all our senses. And as the saying goes, that the Rome was not built in one day. As well, Divine Liturgy was not written in one night or even in 1 week. It took centuries to put everything, all parts together, so we can worship God as we are worshiping Him now during the service. And in the same with the Great Entrance, it took centuries to put it in place. Because in the beginning, from the first and almost until the 6th century, the Great Entrance was done in a silent manner. Nobody would sing and everybody would just look at the procession of what would be happening. Today, when we participate during the Divine Liturgy and we observe the Great Entrance, we can ask ourselves, why do we call it great if it's fairly short? It takes only a couple of minutes, but it all has to do with the early church, the times when the table of oblation was not yet the part of the architect of the church. It was not in the altar area yet, so it was outside. It was a covered place when the people would bring gifts, donations for the church, for the temple. One of those gifts would be wine and bread. So during the service, deacons would go outside to collect those gifts and to bring them all the way throughout the whole temple to the altar area, and they would pass it to the bishop or to the priest who would be at that time serving the Divine Liturgy. The cherubic hymn precedes the Great Entrance. During the singing of the choir, the deacon or a priest censes the altar, the iconostas, and the people, as well as the gifts. After that, the great procession begins, led by the cross, the fans, the candles, which are being carried by the altar servers. Then they walk outside slowly, carefully. They walk outside. Priest, facing the people, commemorates the hierarchs of the church, the country that we live in, the people of that country, as well as all Orthodox Christians around the world and everybody who participate during that service. And then they proceed to the altar where the gifts are being placed on the altar to be consecrated later during the Divine Liturgy. Because I should mention, during the Great Entrance, those gifts are not consecrated yet. If we pay close attention to the words of cherubic hymn that choir sings during the Great Entrance, those words let us who mystically represent the cherubim we are going back to the Isaiah 6 when he mentioned in his about his dream when he saw the seraphims and cherubims surrounding God's altar, being in the presence of God. And we, in the same way, right now, standing during the Divine Liturgy, outside of space or outside of time, praying for one another, praying for those gifts to become body and the blood of our Lord. So later on, by participating in communion, we can unite ourselves in one church, one body of our Lord and Jesus Christ. After the triple litany, when everything is ready and prepared for the entrance, during the singing of the cherubic hymn, the gifts are moved from the table of oblation. From table of oblation is in a great procession, walks with the gifts which are not consecrated yet, and it's the bread on the discus and the wine mixed with water in a chalice, and those gifts are being transferred from the table of oblation to the altar in a great procession. So what is the meaning of great entrance? We believe, and Holy Fathers teach us, that great entrance is commemoration for us of the entrance of our Lord and Jesus Christ as King, as the Son of God, who came into this world as the Messiah to save his people.